You're tuned in to the Brand Ambassador Select Podcast.
Welcome back to the Brand Ambassador Select Podcast, where we are showcasing the coolest brands and gifts while featuring movers and makers. I'm your host, Lenore, and our media gal, Michelle, is joining us in this episode. What's up?
Lenore, I'm excited to be here.
Yes, me too. And we are going to learn, Michelle, how to clean your mouth, how to clean our mouth, how to clean everybody's mouth. So this is the Periogen Oral Rinse. Now, it's the world's first and only product to reduce dental tartar buildup and the cause of redness, sores, and even bleeding gums. So Dr. John Anderson, the president of the Periogen company, joins us to share why we need to make this switch to this specific oral rinse. So Dr. Anderson, welcome to the Brand Ambassador Select Podcast.
Well, thank you. Happy to be here.
No, thank you. Okay, so you sent us a bunch of different samples of your Periogen. So I'm going to, Michelle, take the travel, well, those are travel packs, right?
Yeah.
So we also have complete oral health. We have, the pack, the starter kit. Like you literally, we can live the rest of our lives thanks to you. Now, the question I have is typically we have Listerine, Scope, those types of products in our bathrooms. But why should we switch to Periogen? What's the fuss? What's the big deal about it?
The big deal is that Periogen's the only product that's designed that targets dental tartar. Listerine and all those products, they target plaque. So plaque is a natural film that builds up throughout the day. We eat a meal, we do something. And plaque is that biofilm. It's made up of a little saliva, a little bit what you eat, some carbohydrates from your food and bacteria. And it starts to stick to our teeth within hours of a meal. Well, it's pretty easy to get off. Some plaque will come off with rinsing water, but the rest of it, you're going to need to rinse or do something, brush your teeth. So we're not doing that during the day. So what happens is the plaque will start to adhere to the teeth and the crooks and crevices. And then later on that day when you brush or that night, if you miss it, it starts to harden and calcify. And once it does, it's on. And so what all these products do is they go after bacteria, which is not the best thing because the oral bacteria is the first line of defense of our immune system. It creates a kind of an inhospitable environment in our mouth and for other bacteria. And so when you're putting in Listerine and the rest and killing all that bacteria, you're killing the beneficial and the bad. So yeah, there's some plaque removal, but you're still killing the bacteria, and then that dead bacteria kind of breaks loose and becomes part of the tartar that hardens and forms, and then you get more. So in the end, the plaque is kind of a precursor to tartar. So it's an initiator. So everybody targets the initiator, but we're not good at getting plaque off. So consequently, by morning, you've got tartar, and it's hardened. And as you know, when you go to the dentist, when they take out that pick and start scraping, they're going after the tartar. That's tartar, not plaque. So there's a common misconception with all of us. When you go to the dentist, you go, well, I had plaque or I had a buildup. No, you had dental tartar hardened, calcium phosphate, salt. It's just a hardened substance. So we target that. We target the end result. We target what the dentist targets. It's as simple as that.
So, Michelle, I'm not sure. Let me see your teeth for a second. Okay. I see one thing, and I see it on mine too, like right here. There's those minor white spots where it looks like it's a little discoloration. Not that I'm trying to pick on you.
Yeah, no.
But we both have it. Can this help reduce that or stop that from really spreading?
That's a great question because it may, depends on what you've got there. If it's staining from coffee, so what happens is our teeth are naturally porous. They're not exactly perfect, although from what I can tell, they look pretty perfect on YouTube. But you get little crevices, you get little areas, and the tartar that's in there builds up. And what it does is tartar is porous. It's like a coral reef. And so when it starts to form and harden, you've got like a miniature little coral reef going on where the bacteria start living in the tartar. And what we are worried about is the bad bacteria and all that. So what it'll also do is harbor stains. So if you're drinking coffee, red wine, certain things like that, yeah, it's going to discolor the tartar, which is attached to your teeth. So what happens with Periogen is if you have tartar that's been discolored by coffee and other things, because tartar is kind of naturally white. And when you discolor a little bit with some foods or anything like that, yes, Periogen can remove that and you will get some whitening of the teeth. It is not a bleaching agent. Periogen is a very mild product. It's like a super duper water softener. And so we're not trying to bleach. That's not our goal. We're not trying to bleach. We're not trying to kill beneficial bacteria, digestive bacteria. That's not good for us. So all we want to do, create a balanced pH in your mouth, 7.5, a natural body pH, and then work on that tartar by simply rinsing and through your other procedures, brushing and that sort of thing.
So with the Periogen Oral Rinse, there's 3 methods on how we can use this. So 1 is swishing, 2 is brushing, and the 3rd is through an oral irrigator. Can you explain each one of those? And once you get to the swishing part, we're going to start swishing with you.
This is going to be good. Okay. Okay. Periogen comes. I know you're going to see it. I'm just going to show real quick. Periogen comes in a small bottle. It's a powdered concentrate. Okay. This won't take but a second. Inside the bottle is a scoop. You can take a scoop of the powder out. And remember, Periogen is made from basically food additives, food salts. It's as natural as you're going to get. Everything in here is in Twinkies, ice cream, all kinds of stuff. There's nothing in here that isn't in the food chain right now. So you'll take a bit of the powder like this. You can put it into a swishing cup here. Let's see if I can do this. So you can take it, and this is what you're going to do.
Okay, hold up. Wait, 1 second. Hold up. We're almost there. We're taking the little travel packs with us. So
Okay.
We each have a little mini cup. Okay,
Cool.
Repeat that. Where are we going?
Well, with a bottle, you would just take and put a little bit of the powder in, mix with water, and swish.
So the travel packs that we have, right? Do we put the entire?
You don't have to at all. That travel pack is like supersized, so you could put just like a third of it in or a half. That's meant for people that travel with oral irrigators. So you could put it all, or I put a little in.
Okay, so
once you mix with water, and I don't have water, but I'm going to let you do that.
Oh yeah,
some water.
we're getting in there. How much water should we put?
Oh, just about just anywhere up to the line works.
Put a little bit more in there.
You're going to find you're going to have a little left over because you're only going to swish a couple times.
Yeah, man, that looks good.
Okay.
So
with our big cup.
Before you do, I'll show you. So you could do this, and you're going to swish in a minute. The other thing you can do is take a toothbrush, dip it into a little bit of a mixture. Make all you want or as little as you want. Dip it in, and then brush normally. I prefer our toothpaste, which has the powder in it, which you're going to get to. I would brush with this. The other option, which is what I do at night, I've always done, is I put it in an oral irrigator. And so what I'll do is take an oral irrigator, any one you want, and I'll add a couple of scoops into here, probably just a couple, 2 or 3, 2 works to start. Fill that with water and then irrigate. And when you irrigate the gum tooth margin. You're trying to get the liquid into the gum line. Make sure we irrigate those dental pockets that might have tartar building up in them, because we don't want tartar starts in the top, then it works down into the gum line. And when it goes down into the gum line, it's taking the bad bacteria with it and protecting it. So we want to irrigate those deep pockets. So that's the 3 methods. So swish, water pick, or toothbrush.
Okay, we're gonna start swishing.
Cheers.
Okay.
Do I put the whole thing, like all the water?
Just enough to swish.
Okay.
There should be 2 or 3 swishes in that. Just a little, and then swish it. It's stylish to swish. Oh.
I do feel like I'm at the dentist. For those watching.
Yeah. This won't hurt.
So you know what? I didn't taste anything.
Yeah, I feel like most mouthwashes taste like kind of bad, but that one's not at all.
Yeah, even the oral rinses.
Remember, I'm glad you said that about the taste, because Periogen is just meant to be a very mild agent. It is not meant to alter your breath or anything else. We don't want to load it with that. What's in there is exactly what we've done. 7 clinical studies around the world through dental universities. They were all with review board oversight. We had no part. We sent them the product, and universities around the world said, hey, we're going to bring patients in, we're going to clean them, and then we're going to give them Periogen, go home. We're going to dip some, just a toothbrush and toothpaste, and we're going to compare them in 3 to 6 months. And Periogen was we were resounding. We would reduce tartar between cleanings by 40-45%, and that's the average. That's not some that did really well and some of the lower ones who may have been smoking and other things. We averaged 40. It was tremendous. And we've done 7 of those studies around the world. We don't put anything in that product that we think could could alter the outcome of tartar reduction. So we don't, that's why there's a very mild taste in it. We have basically the original flavor, which has nothing in it but just a little bit of citric, a little baking soda, get them to mix, plus the other two ingredients. And then we have that little mint one in the packet. We do that for those that just want a little extra kick in it. So it's very mild.
How often okay, we just did one little swish, right? So if we're taking the swishing method, how many swishes should we do and how often are we swishing?
Okay, we have in the bottle, you should swish 3 times, but the basic rule is that we really want to get you swishing about a minute. So if you want to do 20 seconds, that's fine. If you want to do it for once, a minute, you can. This is kind of a general rule with oral care products in terms of mouth rinses. So we generally recommend 3 20-second swishes. We found kind of get the same results with one big 1-minute swish. It's just a matter of what you want to do. So swish, spit, and off you go. And if you don't like the taste, you could rinse with a little teeny bit of water. If you don't like the taste, that's fine. There's nothing harmful in it whatsoever.
Did you taste anything again the second time?
No.
There's no
not
taste.
at all.
I don't want anybody to tell you they don't like this taste.
Yeah,
It's good and bad in the world of oral care because some people feel that, and that's probably one of the big challenges we're overcoming with. People get in there, and if you take a big swab of Listerine and put it in your mouth, it almost hurts. Okay, well, it's killing all the beneficial bacteria, but you feel like something happened because your mouth is almost burning. You don't need to do that. We're not making war in your mouth. You put a, and I hate to pick on a listener, you put any of these antimicrobial mouth rinses, germ-killing mouth rinses in your mouth, you're putting a nuclear bomb in your mouth, and you're killing the beneficial bacteria. Again, that's our first line of defense in our oral care. So we're very mild, and you don't. So you just did that, and you go, well, did something happen?
Did it? I don't know.
Yeah, it did, but it's very subtle because it took you a while to build that up. If you use Periogen, say in an oral irrigator or just swishing, it can take a week or two where you really start to see the results. But generally, for example, if you did it in an oral irrigator and you had red, sore, bleeding gums, and you start rinsing, removing that tartar reduces that. Periogen doesn't cure any disease by any means or treat anything. What Periogen does is simply target that tartar that's in the gum line. And if you've got, like I said, red, sore, bleeding gums, and you start oral irrigating, you shouldn't have any of that after 2 weeks. But you would keep at it. And, it could take a month before you finally go, oh, wait a minute, it's looking good. But that's the way it is. It's a mild product. It's just, that's the intent, and that's the way it works.
So Michelle,
It will work.
I believe you.
It's just different for everybody. We're all genetically different. Some of us have super tough tartar, just crazy tough tartar, and some of us have very soft tartar. We get people that use our product and come back and say, well, the tartar's really coming off in chunks, and I almost cringe when I hear it. I go, no, I don't want to hear that. That's great because that was you. But the next person that might have wine or that sort of thing, it could be a lot of time. It could take a little more time, but it does work eventually.
So Michelle, I don't know if you want to talk about your own dental issues, but my issues, she was more than welcome to share. Like as somebody from me, I deal with the canker fever sores. I don't know. I bite my nails. It's my own issue. I get it, right? But if I continue implementing Periogen into my everyday life, will that reduce the amount of times I get those sores? Or when I bite the side of my mouth and it becomes a cut type of thing, and then all the other bacteria gets in there?
Yeah, canker sores are that's a viral thing that comes up based on injury to the tissue in your mouth. What Periogen, we have had people say that improved, but we have to be careful about that because the truth is that what happens is if you reduce most people over the ages of 60, 65 have some form of periodontal disease. That's fact. That's out there. And most of us, or many of us at age 50 and 40 can have some form. If you've got any kind of tartar, any kind of redness, any kind of soreness, any kind of infection in your mouth, you make your mouth more susceptible to everything. So the idea is if you get rid of the tartar, which is what your dentist is all about, it's just there to take the tartar out because it reduces the amount of infection in your mouth. If you can reduce that, you're making your mouth healthier and everything else improves. Simple as that. There are already too many studies out there that show that people with a healthy mouth, like if you go into the hospital and you're over 60 and you're going to the hospital and there's a big concern. If you have periodontal infection, you're more likely to get a respiratory infection in the hospital. That's not anything I made up. That's been studied for 20 years. So if you improve your oral health by taking out the tartar, everything else improves with it. That's what the dentist is all about. We're helping them out. And we're a big advocate of going to your dentist, by the way.
No, I'm a college student, so I drink a lot of coffee, like constantly. I don't think I could function without it, but because of that, I feel like sometimes there's definitely some discoloration of my teeth, and I've never been a fan of those whitening strips and things like that. So with constant use, could this help whiten your teeth as well?
Yeah, it will gently do that. Yes, it will. It will. We've heard that from dentists all over our system is that they've seen whitening as well. But it's not a bleach white. That's a chemical white. It's just simply you're going to see a little less of the yellowing. It'll look a little bit brighter. That just comes with having a healthy mouth. And again, getting rid of tartar is everything. Having a tartar-free mouth is basically a healthy mouth, and that's what we're at. That's all we're about.
So we have the oral rinse, we have the toothpaste, and you said everything that you just mentioned in the oral rinse is incorporated into this toothpaste as well, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. That was quite a trick to get that toothpaste going. That took us 3 years of trying, and
wow.
because we didn't want to put all the stuff in it. There's toothpaste out there with solvents, with lye, with DMSO. I mean, DMSO is a solvent. They have some with lye. There's some of them that are loaded up. There are all kinds of things, and a lot of it is stabilizers. A lot of it are these. We didn't want to do that, and so we just wanted our basic concentrate put into a form that would stay and would be enjoyable for everybody. So yeah, that is primarily Periogen concentrate with some xylitol because people do want, and some mint because people do want that sweet mini impact you get. And so we've been advising folks to brush their teeth with Periogen toothpaste and then rinse. We ask people to rinse as a last step, by the way, but we seem to be getting good results either way. Whether you brush first, rinse first, we seem to be getting the same results from our customers.
Where can we get Periogen? Is it in our local supermarkets? Is it only online? How can anybody listening or viewing right now incorporate this into their lives?
Well, Amazon is that's a big part of us. We started on it. We have our own site through www.periogen.com. And we're also on Amazon, and they've been it's funny. We've been through our own site for ages, and we have quite a few supporting dentists, but that would be really hard to track down because they're doing it for their customers. So we have a lot of dentists that are giving their product to their customers. And we have people saying, can I go to a dentist and get that? It's not going to work because it's too vast. We sell all over the world. So I would tell you could contact us at periogen.com. Or you can go to Amazon and Amazon.com and it'll be there as well. Either one works.
And you are the president. You have created this product. What was the passion behind it for you?
My brother and I founded the company, and my brother had all kinds of periodontal issues. He was in his 50s. He was getting deep cleanings every year. They weren't working. Every year he'd go in for another deep cleaning, and he had 3 teeth at risk. And he just used to say, this is ridiculous. I mean, why? And it's chemically adhered to the teeth. I mean, it can be chemically removed in some way. Well, tartar, everybody said tartar is permanent. Once it's on, only a dentist can do it with a pick or with an ultrasonic device. And my brother never believed that. And so he went after it, and he spent a couple of years in his basement with various food additives because he didn't want to introduce anything new, and he wanted nothing toxic in it. And he produced it over 2 years. He just tried different food additives that were known, various phosphates and things that are used in foods. And he came up with a formula that would remove tartar. And so once we realized we had that it really worked, we started a business around it in San Diego. And so that was about 10 years ago. And the reason you may not have heard of it is that we've spent the past 5 or 6 years doing clinical research on it. We are an evidence-based company. If it's one thing we believe is that you have to have the proof. You know, in the world of cosmetic care, you know, cosmetics is regulated by a few pages of the Federal Register. That's it. There's hardly anything that governs what goes into a cosmetic, whether it be a lotion on your skin or it goes in your mouth. And so, you know, we wanted to make sure this worked. So we had the product safety tested. By the way, we don't use animals in our safety testing. That was absolutely not. We are Leaping Bunny approved. And so we are cruelty free. And then we had it tested at universities around the world. Once we had one university study done, we found dental universities around the world wanted to see it because they never heard of such a thing. And so we've had them tested, and we've just finished our last test last year. So basically it's taken us almost 6-7 years to get these studies done. And every one of our studies was peer reviewed, published in a dental journal, presented at a dental conference. And then basically the information distributed. So we're actually working on another study right now in Europe. So it's been a fun deal, and we're just now kind of getting out there with this sort of marketing and that. We feel it's time now. We have enough information. The other thing we wanted was a toothpaste. So we had the powder, but the powder's kind of, you know, you got to work at it. You got to unscrew the thing and do that. And the toothpaste really wanted that as well. So we started this company 10 years ago, and now we feel we have the product line and enough research out there to know this works, to know it's absolutely safe. And that's why you're hearing about us.
So you can grab any of your products from Periogen at periogen.com. That's PERIOGEN.com. You can check them out on Twitter at Periogen, as well as on Facebook. They're at Periogen as well. And they also have some YouTube videos, because that's how I learned to see that there were 3 different methods on how to actually use the Periogen Oral Rinse. Dr. Anderson, thank you for joining us and showing us this incredible product that will actually change our lives.
We think so.
Now, that's a wrap on another episode of the Brand Ambassador Select Podcast. I'm your host, Lador, and we have Michelle hanging out with us today. And yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss one. More at brandambassadorselect.com. She distracted me because I'm excited she's joining us today. And we will see you next time.